Welcome, everybody. And I will be back in about 20 seconds after I show our normal video splash page. Be right back.
Next time, let's try to tacos at home. Actually, no, that'd be perfect. My dad and I can crush about 3 tacos each, maybe 4, and my mom probably end up like 1.
Welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hillary Live. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Hillary of tarotbyhillary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So on tonight's episode, as you can see, I'm tuning in or broadcasting from the auxiliary office, my friend's house. We just had some really good tacos. And I have my beverage. We found Doc's cider in the sour cherry flavor, which is a rarity. So we definitely snagged them. So my adult beverage is here to hand. And tonight's episode is all about choosing a deck of the month for card of the day pulls for March. So since I'm in the auxiliary office, I don't have all of the decks with me that are for your perusal, but I do have some ideas. Fran is here. Hello, Fran. Saw Fran a little bit earlier on in the day when I did a live on IG. So welcome. Hold on, let me make sure I've got my noise canceling on. Yeah, I'm good. So welcome. So that is the topic for tonight's episode, is help me choose the tarot deck of the month for this month. We definitely did this by majority rule and by democracy and by democratic vote for the first selection for our book club, which is Psychic Tarot by Nancy Antonucci, which I do have here. I'm working on it. I'm behind because I actually did do the exercise, and I did that today. Actually, one of the first exercises of the book, the essence spread, and it blew my socks off. And this is exactly the reason why I wanted to make sure that not only was I reading the book in our book club selection, but also doing the exercises that go along with it. So I did the essence spread, in which you have to basically take apart your deck and sort it into the cups, the wands, the pentacles, the swords, and then take out the ace through tens of each suit and set aside the major arcana and the court cards. So that takes some doing to do. And Fran is saying, me too, like way behind. It's okay. And I'm like taking that all into account, because that I want to say that is the beauty of doing my own book club. If I'm getting feedback like that, like if I'm having trouble keeping up with the pace that we originally started with, we can always move back the date, guys. So just let me know. I'm taking everyone's feedback into account, and also, my reading speed. I'm a pretty quick reader, book wise. However, I want to make the effort of going through the different exercises. So it's good that we have a guide post. And by the way, if you're wondering about the book club, there is an episode on the book club selection, Psychic Tarot, in which I piece out basically where you should be up to by this date. But you don't have to, and we were going to discuss it on March 7th, which is next Friday's episode. But if I'm getting the feedback that it's just like, oh, I'm behind, no, I'm behind, no, I'm behind, and it's a genuinely authentic attempt to read this book in its entirety, then obviously, I'm going to take that feedback into account, and we might push back the date to make sure that everybody who wants to be a part of the book of the month or book club gets a chance to be able to read it and discuss it to their satisfaction. So I'm taking it into account, guys. I am. And also, I'm not only am I getting that feedback, I'm also experiencing that for myself because it's a slim volume, but it's deceptively slim because of those very exercises. So really, really interesting stuff that I got from the essence spread, even just the first part of the essence spread. So I'm curious to see how that shifts and changes. I definitely wrote it down, wrote down the cards that I got. And then another thing that I wanted to say to you that if you are doing the book club and are reading Psychic Tarot along with us, you may want to have a specific deck that you're using when you're working through the exercises in the book, so that you don't have to be like, oh, that's right, I took apart this tarot deck in order to do the essence spread. Now I have to put it back all together, and then I have to take it apart again. Maybe you should have a tarot deck that you have dedicated to working through the exercises in Psychic Tarot. That would be my recommendation anyway. I'm using the Weiser Tarot for that purpose, working through Psychic Tarot, simply because I had it close to hand and it's not as much of a workhorse deck as opposed to the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith or the Reflective Tarot. Both of those decks I use more for client work, for paid readings, like with my clients. So I decided the Weiser Tarot is going to be the deck that I'm using in conjunction with reading Psychic Tarot. Also, I happen to have the Weiser Tarot sticker book, in which it has miniaturized versions, stickers of each of the 78 cards in the deck multiple times over, so that you can add it to your tarot journals. So I was also, it just happenstance have that sticker book. So I'm very glad that it's like I've got a matchy thing going on, and I'm going to stick with that for Psychic Tarot. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely taking all of this into consideration. Like I know Fran was saying, I'm behind. I'm also behind. Stephanie, I think, said in the previous episode, she was like, I'm a little behind too, I think, but thank you for like parsing it out. So it's just like, I'm taking it into consideration, guys. It might not be March 7th. It might not be next week that we discuss Psychic Tarot. Maybe I can push it back a week. I don't want to push it back too far. I want us to have that goal in mind, but I also don't want us to feel like overwhelmed or like another source of stress about it. I get it. I get it. So tonight's episode is choosing the deck of the month. Speaking of decks, the deck of the month for card of the day polls on my social media accounts for the month of March. Now, I do have my tarot deck library that's listed on my website, tarotbyhillary.com, right here on the lower third. So we have a bunch of different decks. Also, Mr. Tarot by Hillary did offer up a couple of his own decks as well for us to do the deck of the month. So we have a couple of different options here that I'd like to go over with you guys and see what your feedback is. I'm actually probably going to be away for the weekend, so we might not start card of the day until Monday at the latest. So you might have to go without a new deck of the month or card of the day posts for the weekend. I might pull other cards because I did bring my Roast Iconic with me, and I do have my Radiant Workhorse deck with me. So those neither of those are the deck of the month though. Okay. So All of that being said, let us move on to the three big pillars of our live stream. We've got the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest, forecast for the main transits that are going on this week, and then for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you can enter into the weekend prepared and not scared. And I did get to tune in this morning to Teresa's wonderful tarot transits and tangents on IG. And once again, she's on point. She used to do that every morning during the week. Now she only does it on Mondays and Fridays. Still, very, very worth your time to follow the Tarot Lady on social media because she's fantastic. She does a really good job. And sometimes the astrology is so on point, and sometimes the tarot is on point, and sometimes it's both. I know for definite that we are working in new moon energy right now because the new moon was yesterday at I think around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll get into that when we talk about the astrology from the Astro Biz Digest. Then, of course, we have the mid-episode reading where one lucky viewer can win a 3-card reading for me live on the broadcast for free. So I'm going to put that crawler up just to remind people if they're new to the live stream, stay tuned to be considered for a live tarot reading here on the broadcast. And then finally, we have the weekend forecast in which I pull a tarot card or an oracle card to wrap up the episode. I'm more than likely I'm going to pull from the Roast Iconic Oracle deck, which are 30 cards for Getting Wrecked by the Universe by Marcella Kroll. Love this little deck. It's cute, she cute, but she is also packing a punch. So if that sounds good to everyone, let me know in the chat. And then also trying to select which deck we're going to use for March's card of the day pulls. All right, let's get into the astrology from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest. $99 for a year-long subscription to that. Astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I found it to be incredibly helpful in planning my personal life and my professional life. So let me pull that up here. I also want to do a quick tech check to make sure that I'm broadcasting properly to the Book of Face and the Tube of View. So let me go ahead and do that. I always get a little bit concerned, especially when I pre-schedule the live. I want to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So let me check on that. All right, looks good on the Tube of View. Hopefully the Book of Face, I don't know. The Book of Face has been a little bit finicky lately. I do not know why. Just want to see that at least the prompts came up. Mm-hmm. And while we're doing that, just going to show if you are enjoying what you're hearing once I do the astrology from the Astro Biz Digest, here is the link on your screen if you want to purchase a copy for yourself, thetarotlady.com/Astro Biz Digest. Yep, it's looking good, looking good. Okay. And now that I know everything is copacetic and working properly, I will go ahead and close out those tabby tabs so that I'm not distracted. All right, so I'm going to pull up this information on my phone. All right, so astrology for the week of February 24th to March 2nd of 2025. I can't believe we're already into March, guys. Also, a reminder that we did do a big fat 2025 reading for the collective, from the collective, for 2025, where each month got a card, a tarot card. So that was the 13 Moon Spread by Kim Kranz of the Wild Unknown. So January, February, March, April, all the way through December, got a tarot card pulled for it, and then a 13th card, which was the theme card. I also calculated it based on the numerology for 2025, and I believe it is a hermit year, 2025, because 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9, which is the hermit card in the major arcana of the tarot. So we pulled that card, and then we also pulled, I believe it was the 5 of Cups, for the theme card for 2025. And it was very stunning to see the same body language in the both figures in the Hermit card and the 5 of Cups. So if you're interested in that, we do have that live episode that was previously recorded in January. We have that replay available for you on this channel. So you can go ahead and search that. And we've been doing that reading for the collective, I think since the beginning of this live stream. So for the past 5 years, we've been doing that every January. So check that out and see, which card we have for the upcoming month of March, because it's there. It's all there. Big reading episode. Okay, so 2 big happenings in the cosmos this week, starting with the new moon in Pisces that happened yesterday on the 27th. A gentle lunation, best for starting new creative projects. It's also the perfect excuse to take the day off for rest if you're able to. I didn't get to do that, but it's fine. I've got a couple of days coming up for rest. I highly recommend this because the month is about to get lit. New moons are great for setting intentions as well. This one is best for intentions for creative work, business intuition, and mental health because it's a new moon in Pisces. March Madness begins with Venus retrograde on March 1st. That's tomorrow, guys. A transit that brings high maintenance clients, PR misfires, and foolish extravagance. During this period, which lasts until April 12th, you'll want to set boundaries, curb expenses, and avoid public controversies. Sure, that might mean playing it safe, but it's better than throwing a wrecking ball into your biz. Venus retrograde means way more than that. But since this, the AstroBiz Digest is kind of geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, it's going to have that tinge of like how you can use this lunation for your business or what to avoid during this time. So Venus retrograde also, relationship stuff for sure. And also beauty. So like if you think, oh, I need bangs, don't get your bangs cut during a Venus retrograde. Just saying. You're probably going to end up regretting it. I don't care if you're a 5 head like me. Bangs usually don't work. Very few people can pull up bangs well. So anyway, let's move into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So those are the big 2. Okay. So new moon in Pisces, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just talked about that. So Friday, Creativity bubbles to the surface when the moon trines Mars at 7:57 a.m. Use this morning to make progress on art or content. Your energy could slow when the moon conjuncts Saturn at 1:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dina is here. Hello to Dina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Moon conjunct Saturn at 1:42 p.m. Take that Kit Kat break now. Host a gathering for your team or community when the moon sextiles Uranus at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would say this is kind of a virtual gathering. We do it every week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or in this case, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that I could pre-schedule it. Keep the social energy going when the moon conjuncts Mercury at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Such a marvelous night for being with your people. That's kind of what's going on in the background if you happen to hear voices in the background. So today, Friday, February 28th, is a power day for Pisces and a weekday for Virgo, owing to that new moon in Pisces. All right, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday begins on a feisty note when the moon roars into Aries at 4:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be asleep, hopefully. This lunation is for launches, risks, and bold moves and marketing. No shy violet stuff. Let bravery lead the way. The moon Pluto sextile at 9:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time brings progress in business affairs and joint ventures. Use this time to go over your goals or connect with partners to review current projects. Venus is retrograde at 7:36 p.m. Read the information. We already read the information, okay? Learn how to maneuver around this tricky energy. So Mercury retrograde happens more often than Venus retrograde. So most people know how to navigate a Mercury retrograde. For Venus, it's all about beauty. It is also sometimes about extravagance as well. And just know that when Mercury goes retrograde, sometimes your exes come out of the woodwork. Venus in retrograde, same thing could happen. So just because people are coming back to you from the past doesn't mean that you need to accept their invitation, okay? And don't cut your bangs. Begin new creative projects or PR campaigns when the moon is conjunct with Venus at 10:26 p.m. Remember to be thoughtful, not impulsive. Sunday is a wash. The moon is void all day, beginning at 8:52 a.m. It is best for tying up loose ends rather than starting anything new. An ugly aspect between the Sun and Jupiter at 1:19 p.m. brings out the blowhards and liars. If they are stinking up the airwaves, it will be almost impossible to get traction. Leave Sunday alone. Both days, Saturday and Sunday, are power days for Aries and weekdays for Libra. Now, at this time in the broadcast, I usually open up the floor to any questions for people for things that I did not mention Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I will take a quick peek at the Astro Biz Digest to see how things were shaken out that day, to give you an astrological reason why. So give that a minute or so while I take a sip of this lovely, lovely hard cider. I'm trying to sip this without ruining my lipstick. It's not working. I had to I'm gonna have to reapply. And while people are thinking about that, I am going to pull up my list of decks. Hmm. Stephanie says, this week was rough, but I know why. So I'm just going to wait for that link to pop up. It's going to be in the chat. And so you can go ahead and click on that. Um, Make sure you're opening it in a new tab, folks, so that you don't exit out of this live by accident. But we need a deck. We need a deck for the month of March. It can be a deck that I've already previously used. Oh, that's possible. It could have been that I hopefully she hasn't been getting the notifications. I don't know why. And hopefully she didn't think that I wasn't doing it um because I was late. Because I am technically speaking, I'm 20 minutes late. So we might not decide tonight what the deck of the month is going to be. But we're Katie, we're calling for you because I saw her earlier on my IG live too. So, but here is the link for you all. My website, tarotbyhillary.com/ behind the scenes, my tarot deck library. So you should be able to click on it in a new window so you can take a look at the list. I have my list in alphabetical order and separated by tarot, Lenormand, and other. So we can certainly do an Oracle deck or a Lenormand deck. But if we are to do a Lenormand deck, I will probably not just be pulling one card each day because Lenormand is really best to be read in a sentence, basically, pulling at least you can do combos. You can do 2-card combos, but I usually pull at least 3 cards from the Lenormand so that I have like a sentence to read to be able to interpret it correctly based on the correct question. I'm not sure, Fran. Yeah, that the timing was a little bit interesting, unless it's I don't know. Wasn't that the middle of the night for her? I don't know. I don't know. Speculation. I don't know. So but yeah, so if we happen to do a Lenormand deck, then we'll pull 3 cards each day, not just 1 card. So let's see. So this article on my website is also a little bit of a description of how I choose decks. How do I know which decks to bring to a client session? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just bring my workhorse decks, such as Radiant Rider-Waite Smith, which is in this bag right here. At that time that I wrote this, Legacy of the Divine was my jam by Ciro Marchetti. Most of the time now I have my bag pre-packed from a previous session, and then I'll just switch out cards. I'll switch out the decks depending on intuition and also client requests too. So, and at the time that I wrote this was a comprehensive list of all of the decks that I had in alphabetical order. I do have to add more, and I'm working on that list on my phone too. Dina says, I am in love with Lenormand. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's like not a mutual affection. Me and Lenormand, it's not mutual. I assure you. because I feel like I love Lenormand more than it loves me. It's not a reciprocal relationship by any stretch of the imagination. I think it can be a little bit more stern than I want it to be, and it's just like I want to like let me love you. I want to love you. I want to be able to like read with it effectively. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, so interesting, interesting, guys. So Stephanie's also saying I'm leaning towards Lenormand this month too. There is a reason. There's a reason that I was thinking about Lenormand, and it was an announcement that the lovely Rana George made, where there's going to be a second edition of the Essential Lenormand, which is her book that I recommend to everyone that is trying to learn Lenormand, especially if you've got tarot brain. If you're coming to Lenormand from tarot, Lenormand is very different. You got to have like it's almost like you have to wear different divination hats in order to properly switch, you know, code switch. So we've done a couple of episodes on Lenormand here on the live stream, also on Card Slingers Coast to Coast. Highly, highly recommend you check out the episode that we did with V from Red Light Readings from our Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast. The episode was called The Dirty 36. That was our Lenormand episode. So, yes, yes, Stephanie. So have it and love it. Now, the fact that that she's coming out with the second edition and there's going to be like new stuff, I think. I can't remember exactly what it was that she said because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just kind of blacked out in excitement when I heard like, oh my God, there's going to be a second edition of the Essential Lenormand. That's fantastic. So I kind of like went after that, like that's all my brain could take. And I kind of like had a little like, woohoo. So that's part of the reason why I'm just like, do we do Lenormand? Do we do it? And so if you guys are leaning towards Lenormand, this is I mean, I do get the deciding vote. Obviously, it's my live stream. It's my tarot deck collection. It's my live stream. I get to do what I want. But we do have quite a selection of Lenormand cards. So I'm going to pull up my list, both on my phone and then also we can refer to the behind the scenes, my tarot deck library that we have there that I'm trying to get to. Yeah, I feel like Dina says I did listen to that episode. It was great. I feel like I need to re-listen to that episode because V is a wonderful teacher of Lenormand. There's a few Lenormand teachers. Rana George, of course. Donalé de la Rose is another fantastic Lenormand teacher. Let's see, the Sassy Sybil. I think her name is Melissa Jo Hill, if I'm remembering correctly. She did an amazing Lenormand chorus that I took, and I was just like, between Rana's book and the Sassy Sybil's chorus, like I feel like I'm on a pretty good footing. I still don't know necessarily if I do the Grand Tableau, which is when you do a spread of all 36 cards in the Lenormand deck, and then you hunt for the different topics where it's like you shuffle and you lay out the cards, and then you look for the woman card if your client is a woman. Or identifies as a woman, you look for the man card if the client identifies as a man. And then you look at the cards surrounding them, what the box is surrounding them. And then you look for different topics. So like for health, you would look for the tree and then look at the surrounding cards or you can look for the houses. It's just like, okay, the tree is in the house of the woman, or the mice card is in the house of the tree, which means that seems like that there's a problem there with the health. Like I'm just giving 4 examples here. This is not an actual reading. But like you lay out all of the cards and then you find, it's just like, okay, well, if the client is looking for a relationship with a man, then, and they happen to be identifying as a woman, you look for the woman card and then you look for the man card and you see which cards are in between the two and see, is the man close? Is the man far away? Is the man back here? Because if so, if the man's back here, then it's just like it's not happening. It's like the man has come and gone. Like there's so many different things to consider with this just like thin pack of 36 cards. So if I'm getting a little bit Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny on this, it's just like, and here and here and here and here, this is connected to this. Like it just shows that I'm excited about Lenormand. Um, so Stephanie says yes, and 3 cards a day is more work for you. Yes, exactly. So if I decide to do it, and knowing that it's more work for me, but it's just like, but that's how you best read Lenormand. Like it's like that's how I was taught how to read Lenormand. Like yes, you can get a lot out of a card, but also that's not really how Lenormand is supposed to be read. It's all about the context and the surrounding cards, and you're reading in a sentence. Like one word in a sentence doesn't really tell you that much unless that word is very powerful. So Stephanie says Erica Robinson has a course in Tarot Readers Academy too. Yes, I've heard that Erica Robinson is an excellent teacher of Lenormand as well. And I'm sure there's many, many people that I'm forgetting. So if we do Lenormand, which I think a lot of people are leaning towards, I'm also leaning towards it too. I'm going to break out my copy of the Essential Lenormand. I have to find it first. It's there somewhere, I promise. Yes, yes, and it is, Dina is correct. It is great for the writer in you. Yes, that's correct. It's like it's a sentence. Each card is a word in the sentence. And so this card is here, and then the next card is either the adverb or the adjective, and then the next card is the adjective. Like it makes sense to me when it was described to me like that. I was just like, oh, okay, I get it now. So, or at least I get it a little bit more than I had previously. So if we're gonna do Lenormand, guys, if we're gonna do it, let's look at the list. So scrolling down to Lenormand, as of the writing of this particular blog post, we had the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. I know exactly where that is in my case. The Gold and Silver Lenormand by Paris de Bono. Yes. I'm pretty sure I know where that one is. The Kendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. I just had my hand on it before I left the house. So it's little. It's the little deck. So for any of you who have gotten a reading from me before and have requested the little deck, that's Kendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. That is the little deck. Or the little cards. The Mademoiselle Lenormand Blue Owl deck. I don't know where that one is, guys. I have a feeling that it's in one of my bags. Not any one that I have with me, but it's in one of my bags. Because I think what I did was I used that particular one as a learning deck for the course that I took with a Sassy Sybil. And I wrote in, because it did not have the playing card associations onto it, I wrote in the playing card associations in Sharpie. Oh my God, I know. I ruined a deck. No, I didn't ruin a deck. It was for reading purposes. It was for educational purposes to better my instruction on Lenormand. Sawyer's Lenormand. I know exactly where that one is too, by Jamie Sawyer. That's in my my cabinet, my altar, and my deck cabinet. And then the Siren Song Lenormand by Carrie Paris. I know exactly where that one is too. And I think that might be all of the Lenormand decks that I have. I don't think I actually have added Lenormand decks since then, because I just, like how many Lenormand decks is too many, especially when you're not specifically a Lenormand reader. If you're a tarot reader, like I can understand adding to your tarot deck collection, especially if you're like a tarot deck reviewer. But if you're not specifically like a Lenormand reader, or you use it as an addition to, like, I get why you're your collection of Lenormand might be a little bit small, like mine is. You will probably never hear me repeat that in front of my dear sainted husband, Mr. Tarot by Hillary, because my deck collection is colossal, and he was actually making fun of me um, for this particular topic. And it's just like, well, of course you're having trouble deciding because you have so many decks, and I'm like, shut up. Uh, and I also said, like, I can't bring them all with me. Um, in order to decide. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. But let's narrow it down a little bit. So let's see my notepad here. So it's been a couple of months since I've been working on this list. Um, Scrolling all the way down. Yeah, I mean, like, I think those are the only Lenormand decks that I have. So is this a sign that I need another Lenormand deck, guys? Do we get a new Lenormand deck for March? I mean, like, that's an option too. Because here's the thing. I considered getting the Siren Song Kipper and Lenormand deck, like, kit together, because I didn't have a Kipper deck until the Seaborn Kipper, which I actually got sent to me by Llewellyn. Llewellyn sent me a box of different decks to review. So, so that's the reason why I have that Kipper deck, because I may or may not have requested a Kipper deck in that box. I also do still have the River Oracle card deck, which I never really connected to. I feel a little bit bad about it, but maybe I should attempt to try it. Not in March. Not in March. I'm taking that out of the running for March, but just spitballing out loud. But the reason why I didn't get the Siren Song Kipper and Lenormand is because I already have the Siren Song Lenormand. So I didn't want to, like, double up on a Lenormand deck that I already had. So um, now I have to look. Does anyone have, okay, so I'm going to repeat the Lenormand decks that I already have. And then y'all can chime in if we should add. If I should buy another Lenormand deck. So again, so the Gilded Reverie Lenormand, that's by Chira Marchetti. I actually have the self-published version of the Gilded Reverie Lenormand, and no one's allowed to touch that but me, because it's so fragile, and it is first edition, self-published, So yeah, sorry guys. So without visuals, I'm leaning towards the petite Lenormand. It's vintage petite Lenormand by Kendra Hertau. It's kind of vintage looking, postcard esque. So I will pull up visuals for you guys. I think so. Thank you all for let's narrow it down. Thank you all. I think we're going to go with a Lenormand this month. Ooh, okay. Erica's Lenormand of Hope is another suggestion. Okay. Let me pull up some images here then. And notice how I never reviewed any Lenormand decks. Actually, I did. I think I reviewed 2 Lenormand decks in exchange for them, and they were all right. They weren't anything to write home about. So Erica's Lenormand of Hope. Oh, those are really pretty. Okay. Let me pull this up on the Game Crafter. So I believe Kendra also did the Under the Roses Lenormand as well. Stephanie's saying I was thinking of getting the Seventh Sphere. I'm not familiar with that one. Dina said cute little Lenormand. So I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on. Let's go with that one. And so that's Kendra's vintage petite Lenormand. And let me see if I can play this. Oh, there's a video on YouTube too. Hold on, let's see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that works. Hopefully this is also sharing audio. So let me try.
This is Kendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. Like Tarot, Lenormand is a card divination system. The deck contains 36 traditional bridge-sized cards and a slew of alternate cards. In addition, there's also optional card 37s, and it comes with a little booklet. The images are all vintage images, and there is no clip art. If you would like to learn more about Lenormand, I have created a book and an online course titled Lenormand Step by Step, which you can find on our website.
Could you guys hear that? Were you able to hear the audio of that? Because I'm hoping that I shared that correctly. Dina is asking, can you do a Lenormand reading on our country? For the month of March? Sure. Not tonight, though. Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love that was my first Lenormand deck, was the vintage petite Lenormand, and I think I bought it directly from Kendra herself. Um, Beautiful, beautiful little deck. And I still have it in. It's a little original green bag, and then I'll usually put in. Um, I think I was carrying my little labradorite pendulum with it, and then I think a turquoise little scully bead with it. I don't know. It felt right for it to go together, so that's why I put it together like that. So that's what the vintage petite Lenormand looks like, and really nice deck. And there's Kendra herself. I'm not even going to attempt to click on the link that says how to pronounce Lenormand correctly. I know I pronounce it weird. It's either Lenormand or Lenormand. I pronounce it Lenormand. I don't know. I'm a snob, I guess. So Sawyer's Lenormand is beautiful. Actually, mm, I've never featured Jamie Sawyer's Lenormand. Maybe I should. I should show you guys that. Hold on. Let me stop sharing that. And it's definitely going to be a different departure um, to the vintage Petite Lenormand style. Um, and I've actually never. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need to buy a new Lenormand deck, guys. So yeah, let me show you guys this. So there's Clover, there's Anchor. Can you guys see that? Okay. That's the backs of the cards. Cross. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. So there's the lady and the gentleman. Well, I mean, this is giving me Celtic vibes, which pairs great with St. Patty's this month. I mean, that is a thought too. It was not my intention. Also, it just so happened that Clover was one of the cards that was coming up at the very top. So, and then there's the backs of the cards. 38 full color, casino smooth finish. That is very nice cardstock, I will say that. There are 4 signifier cards, 2 each of 38 and 39, and they differ slightly in color and background. So there was a difference between the 2 ladies and the 2 gentlemen. No guidebook included with the deck. So that's definitely a leap of Lenormand faith, if we choose to do Sawyer's Lenormand. But I actually would love to do that. So it's interesting. It's interesting that, and I mean, if I need a guidebook, I can always go to the Essential Lenormand by Ron and George. So, but that gives you a little bit of a visual of what the Sawyer's Lenormand looks like. Let's see, what else? I also do have the Lonono cards, which is like a variation on Lenormand by Paris de Bono, which is a different kind of system in itself. It's not all the same cards because I think it's only 20 cards in the Lonono. So I put that more as an Oracle card deck, though it does have a system with it. So, but yeah, let's see. Blue Owl. And of course, Siren Song Lenormand. I feel like I've done Siren Song Lenormand before, though. That's entirely possible. That's an interesting deck, too. Let's see. So for Siren Song Lenormand, just for funsies. Let's see if this will come up. Beautiful. Let me show you this, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that there, but definitely a different visual vibe than the Sawyer's Lenormand and even the vintage Petite Lenormand before that. Yes, it's a beautiful deck. So I think we have enough. I think we're going to go with Lenormand. So now the choice is which Lenormand. I'm leaning towards Sawyer's Lenormand, quite frankly, because I don't think I ever featured it in any of the card of the day posts on social media. So I think that's what we're going to go with, guys. I think so. And Stephanie agrees with me. So Sawyer has my vote. It's like once we narrowed it down to Lenormand, right? Exactly. I mean, clearly, if we have learned anything over the last 5 years of doing the live stream, you got to go with your gut, right? Katie's here. Hello, Katie. I'm so sorry to have fooled you. I'm so sorry you never got the notification. So you are just in time for the choice. Fran was worried about you. There she is. So you're just in time for basically our decision that we're going to go with a Lenormand deck for the month of March. And as to the Lenormand deck that we're going to go with, we are more than likely going to go with the Sawyer's Lenormand, which I've never featured before in my social media card of the day posts. And so more than likely, if it's a Lenormand deck that I'm featuring, we're going to do 3 card readings each day for the Lenormand, because Lenormand, it's not a pull one card kind of system. So, and I'm not going to treat it that way, especially knowing that it's not really a one card pull system. So I think we have our decision, guys. So let's Let's do the mid-episode reading in which one lucky viewer can win a free 3-card tarot reading with me live on the broadcast, and see if people are feeling frisky and up to it. If not, we'll just move right into the weekend forecast. Depends. Some people are into it, some people are not. Depends on the week. So, in order to participate, to be considered for a live reading, comment tarot into the chat, TAROT into the chat, and we will close the competition in about 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Or if nobody comments tarot, then we'll just move on to the weekend forecast. Oh, and while we wait, I feel good, guys. I feel really good that we decided to do that. It was actually, I was running out. I was packing all of my stuff and running out the house and doing my makeup. Hopefully, you guys like my makeup today. It's intense. It's an intense look, but it went along with my sweatshirt that my brother-in-law got for me for Christmas. I don't know if you guys saw it. The reader had to. Sometimes you have to have your clothes match your makeup, and sometimes you have to have your makeup match your clothes. So, and while we're waiting, I will pull out the deck. Oh, thank you, Katie. Katie saw me earlier when I just had my sweatshirt on and maybe a little bit of lip gloss on. And by the way, speaking of makeup, notice the swoop. Hold on, I'll take off my glasses so you guys can see it. See that there? That is all Scotch tape. That's it. Scotch tape and a lot of blending. Oh, and black eyeshadow primer. And that tip about using Scotch tape to create that sharp look, I learned on TikTok from a girl named Bryn, and she usually does Color Me Mondays, in which she lets colored pencils. She chooses colored pencils for each of the different things, and then shows the final look. And oftentimes it's just like, she's like, I look like an Oompa Loompa at a rave, or I look like a yassified mango or papaya. They're very fun. So you probably can search the Talk of Tick for Bryn and Color Me Monday, and you'll find her right away. But yeah, that Scotch tape, and just putting it on the back of your hand and then pulling it off so that it's like not like ripping off your skin. Really simple, quick tip, that game changer. Because I enjoy makeup, but I don't think I'm necessarily great at it. So, all right, no takers tonight for the mid-episode reading. So that be that, folks. So I will take away the the common snake, even though it is very cute. I will give my little PSA, shameless self promotion plug. Please remember to click on the bell, subscribe to the channel to be informed, and click on the bell to be notified when I go live. It's usually 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday nights. Sometimes it's a little bit later than that, but most of the time it's going to be on Friday night, around there. And you can always search this channel if there are any topics that you're just like, oh, well, maybe I think Hillary might have done a workshop on that. I probably have. I've been doing it for the last 5 years. So please go ahead and follow me. And also you can book a reading or a tabbing session at tarotbyhillary.com. Email readings, phone readings, Zoom readings, the works. I would love to be able to work with you. So let us move on to the weekend forecast. Katie says, I'm always impressed by how the tape works. It's so, like, I'm not even joking with you. Regular Scotch tape. That's it. That's it. And then you can be as messy as you want to. And then if you need to clean it up afterwards, you can clean it up afterwards. But it's just like, look how good that looks. And also blending. I love playing with makeup. And and also, funny story, while we were walking to my car, I was talking with Mr. Tarot by Hillary, and he was kind of like laughing at me because he's seen me do my makeup before, and then I'll usually say to him, do you like my makeup today? What do you like about it? And he's like, I don't know. It looks pretty, like he's like, I'm a guy. I don't know. I don't like. Do you want me to know like why it looks good, or do you want me to just say that it looks good when it looks good? And I'm just like, well, I kind of want to like, what specifically about it do you like or dislike? And so for today's look, he was just like, it's very dramatic for like you usually do your makeup more subtly. And I'm just like, yeah, but I wanted something to match, the reader. I wanted to match. I'm in all black right now, and I've got and it's just like I wanted it to match. I wanted to, up the intensity. And he was just like, well, it certainly does that. But then he's like, but it does look good. And then I was saying to him, I was just like, I don't know how women do this every day. Like go and like do this like. And no foundation, by the way, because foundation usually messes my skin up. I don't understand how people put on foundation, have it make it look good and not patchy and not streaky, and you know. So I was saying to him as we were walking to the car, I was like, I don't know how women do it every day. It's like sometimes when I get my makeup, and it's like a visit to girl world where I'm just like this feels very strange, like I don't know how people do it every day. And he was just like, well, I guess it's like it's a part of their brand, so they just do it, and I'm just like, first of all, that seems very exhausting, and second of all, I wouldn't even know what my brand for makeup would look like what would be the consistent, like I was just like, there's too many me's. There's too many me's. I don't know which me would be the best representation of my brand. And I was just like, I don't think it's this, because this is too much work every day. So anyway, let's do the weekend forecast. So we're going to go with the Roast Iconic Oracle deck. As you all know, I usually lean towards the Oracle decks for the weekend forecast rather than pulling a tarot card. Depends on the deck that we're working with, but I don't know. I think that Oracle decks work a little bit better for the weekend forecast. Fran says, regarding makeup, I do as little as possible. Yeah, I feel like I'm not very high maintenance when it comes to my makeup, and I enjoy playing with it and seeing how it comes out. Like this is like they're not twins per se, but they're sisters. But sometimes it's just like I work so hard and it turns out terrible and then I end up having to wipe it off anyway. And sometimes it turns out wonderful and then I just don't know how to replicate it, which is annoying. Katie said, my mother always referred to makeup as her war paints. Yeah, I do that too. I think she saw it as a shield. Yeah, I mean, like, and also I think that um, there is a part of magic and energy work that is associated with makeup and with glamour and like literally like glamour as like glamour magic, not just glamour as in like Hollywood. So there's certainly a way to bring magic and energy into everything that you do, and that is part of how I like to do my makeup. Is just like, how can I make this a ritual for me? How can I make this fun for me? How can I make this interesting for me? So what I've started to do as I've been applying my makeup, if I choose to wear makeup before I go out for the day, is I've been putting on um, subliminal music. I like the subliminals that Diamond does on YouTube. So shout out to that person for doing really interesting subliminals. And I usually do like beauty subliminals or did she cast a spell on me subliminals, or dark feminine beauty subliminals. So I'll put that on. I'll put in my earbuds and I'll put that on as I'm doing my makeup. And I think making it a part of ritual and having a ritual to go along with it, I think helps with not only what you're trying to do with your makeup or how you're trying to project yourself to the world, but also I think it can be armor as well. Yeah, I think it was probably glamour magic for her. Fascinating stuff, guys. And I think I personally, I think subliminals work in conjunction with like doing talisman work, like whatever earrings or jewelry that you're wearing. I mean, like you guys know, I'm rocking my labradorite most of the time. That's just I feel naked if I go out without it, and I think that's part of a way to make it consistent. Is just like, what do I feel like I'm missing something if I don't do this thing? Like for me lately, it's my labradorite, some perfume, some lip balm. Those are like my baselines. Obviously, clothes. So, all right. Let's do the weekend forecast. So we're using the Roast Iconic Oracle deck, 30 cards for getting wrecked by the universe. And we want to know what the weekend's going to be like. I mean, other than the astrology that we just heard from Teresa Reed at the top of the episode. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Katie. I used to feel naked without it for work. It was a protection. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I'm getting ready for a retail shift, I'll put on a little like baby wing, baby cat eye, and a little bit of like lipstick and some mascara. It depends. I think we might be getting a two for today. I think these are the two cards. Oh my. I feel like we've gotten these cards before. Getting the sense of deja vu. All right, so the weekend forecast for this weekend is trauma bond and empath, which is kind of like this. I feel like is especially for the Venus retrograde. And also for Sunday, what Teresa was saying in her AstroBiz Digest for Sunday, like Sunday is a wash, like Sunday, don't do anything, make it a rest day on Sunday. I feel like this is geared more towards Sunday than tomorrow. But we did have Trauma Bond come up first. So I will do the companion book for that and then for Empath. Oh, yeah. Just like, why am I feeling these two cards? So Trauma Bond. Oh my God. And they are together. They like literally Trauma Bond is on one page and Empath is on the other page. You know, I shuffled this deck, by the way. So Trauma Bond, first of all, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that person is not your twin flame. Get out while you can. This is very Venus in retrograde reading, guys. This is codependency at its most toxic. You may find comfort in old familiar wounds, but resist the temptation to make connections rooted in things that are no longer serving you or support your healing. And for Empath, are you an empath? Or are you hyper vigilant because of all of the trauma you've endured? Trauma Bond, trauma you've endured. Time to find a balance for those hyperextended emotions. Give your nervous system a break right now. You can do so by clearing out those emotions that are not yours to process. Say it with me. I release all that is not mine to carry and return all that which is not my responsibility to hold. Yeah, I feel like we've gotten these cards before. All right, I'm going to shuffle up and I'm going to give us one more card because I feel like that's very, very heavy. It's not to say that it's not accurate, but I feel like it's very heavy. So I'm going to shuffle up and ask the deck what advice it can give us in carrying or releasing this heavy energy. Yeah. Yes, they sure do, Katie. They look like great big warning signs. Listen to a healing podcast, I guess. Listen to our newest episode of Card Slingers Coast to Coast on the Three of Wands podcast. Blah blah blah. But I saw a white car and he drives a white car. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm imagining a go back, you are going the wrong way sign. Mm-hmm. So. All right. So the podcast card. The podcast card asks us to pull another card, by the way. It says, do you love the sound of your own voice? Do you believe the world needs to be informed of your nuanced opinion on everything? Could it be time you got your own? Could be time you got your own show. I have several. Hello. Katie says, listen to a Hillary tapping. Yes, that's true too. The masses need your brand of authority right now. How will you wield your power with a microphone in front of you? Draw another card to see whether this direction will have a positive or negative impact on the world around you. Yeah, so you could listen to a tapping that I've done. I have a couple on this channel. Um, it depends on the tapping that you need. I also have another tapping coming out exclusive to the High Vibe Honey app in March on the decision to trust or not to trust. That was a very, very interesting one. And one of the phrases that I got while I was tapping was um, whether I choose to trust or not to trust. If my trust is betrayed, does that really say something about me? I feel like it says way more about the other person that chose to betray rather than whether or not I'm smart or vulnerable or whatever. It's just like it says way more about the person, the other person, than it does about me. So so I'm getting the card Cult Leader. This is like, I feel like this is a sign that, like, even though the companion book is saying pull another card to clarify, like that Cult Leader to me is like, stop pulling. Like, stop pulling. You don't need more cards. You don't need more messages. You don't need a signier sign. So you're not a guru, a time lord, or a demigod. You are an egomaniac who needs minions so you can feel like an authority to compensate for your own feelings of inferiority. Inferiority. Grow up. I gotta stop. Turn back now. Turn back now. I feel like this is much bigger. Like, someone was who was asking me to do a Lenormand reading for the state of the world. I don't know. I don't know if we need a Lenormand reading, guys. I think we just gotta roast. I think we just got a roast of the world instead of a Lenormand reading of the world. Yeah, at least we are laughing, even if it's laughing through the tears. My goodness. All right, guys. I think that's a wrap for tonight. I think we're gonna go with the Sawyer's Lenormand for the month of March. We might start on Monday because I'm away this weekend. But if I happen to be home at some point and grab my deck, then we'll start earlier than that. But for sure, definitely Monday we're going to start. Yes. So will we do a Lenormand rating on the state of the world? Like maybe on Friday. Maybe. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe as much as possible. Stay sane as much as possible. Yes, Frances, follow your own advice. Yes. So once again, we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on different metaphysical and divination topics. So we're going with Sawyer's Lenormand. Please keep on reading Psychic Tarot, our book club selection. More than likely, we will not be discussing it this coming Friday because people need time to read it, digest it, and do the exercises, which are deep. So we'll see. I will give you an updated date on the discussion for this book when I feel like we all are done absorbing it and ready to talk about it. So bye, everybody. Good night. Good weekend to all. Once again, I am Hillary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful week ahead of you. And I will see you again on Friday. Whew, that was an episode and a half, right? Bye.